Bachelor Live recap. We got a lot to talk about today. We have another Barb and Kelley moment to discuss. We've got a response from Lindsay. She just did an interview and opened up about what really happened between her and Hannah Brown when they talked, and so much more. But before we get into it, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any Bachelor Nation updates. We are back. I'm Renee Ariel. I'm joined by the Bachelor expert, my work wife, wonderful person, Fiona Zarin. Killing it with the intro game. Fiona,
yes.
Listen, we all know Barb's woman crush is Kelley. It's no secret. I think it's very much out there. And there is another very adorable Barb loving Kelley moment. And I'd love for you to share that with us.
Oh my goodness. Barb is obsessed with Kelley. It is very, very sweet. She is such a classic mom on Instagram. She's coming in with all these collages, which are so adorable. She also, I think it's important to note, really loves Jack's girlfriend as well. She made a collage showing her support for her son's significant others on her Insta. She posted Kelley and her selfie, and then a selfie with Jack's girlfriend as well, and added text on screen that said "Girls Rock," and she captioned it with pink hearts. She posted another one of both of the couples captioned "Happiness is," with a lot of hearts as well. So basically, she loves her son's girlfriends. She loves their relationships. She is team happiness. And I don't think this will be the last moment we see a Barb Kelley shout out on her Instagram. What do you think? More collages in her future?
Is this getting a little embarrassing at this point? Can we be honest for a second? I would be mortified if my mom did any of these posts, let alone all of them. And it just feels like they keep on coming. There's clearly a lot of pressure on any relationships that her sons get involved in. But my question is this, you guys and Fiona, do you think that if Peter was still dating Maddie and he was posting these photos with Maddie, that Barb would still post these collages but cut out Maddie's face and put Kelley's? Or do you think that Maddie just wouldn't be involved in any of the collages?
I don't know if these collages would be happening if Maddie was here, or if she'd post a bunch of throwback photos of Peter and Hannah Ann, the angel on earth she was, or whatever it is that she called her on the show. I mean,
the caption would be "Some girls rock."
Yeah, I think that you know what, Barb is such an interesting character. It's so funny to me that the Bachelor, one of the biggest things we remember from this past season of The Bachelor is the parents episode, because I feel at that point, it's sweet, it's a little awkward, maybe there's a little intense moment, but this is the defining moment from Peter's season. Barb is the star of the show. And I think that she will continue to make headlines with her social media posts, because people are really invested in not only what her opinion is, but also what her take on Peter's life is. So if Peter, let's say, up and moves to Chicago, I'm going to tune into Barb's social media and see how she feels about that, because they are so intertwined. And I think that is just sort of a uniquely Weber family trait. Is it a little cringy? Perhaps.
A little bit.
But it makes me happy.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy. Honestly, I think this is the only time that I have ever felt invested enough in just the aftermath of a season of The Bachelor that I want a reality show with them. I want a reality show where it's Barb constantly in interviews where she's I love Kelley. Kelley's the best. And raving about Kelley, and then doing the same for Jack's girlfriend. I want to see the family interact all together. I want a Weber reality show. I don't think that's so much to ask for. I think we could make it happen, because at this point, it's too entertaining. And I wonder if Kelley and Peter will stay together. What's their relationship like now? I have questions, and I want them answered on reality television.
I couldn't agree more. Personally. I think we need to call up Chris Harrison and say, listen, next Bachelor spinoff, just call it Barb's Thoughts and give it to
Barb's
us.
Thoughts.
Let us know what's happening. Kelly and Peter are also, of course, sharing some cute moments of their own on social media. They are not shying away from the fact that they are now a couple. They are happy. They are in love. And honestly, we all know the journey it was to get here. I'm happy to see them happy. And I hope that it continues on this very positive, in love trajectory.
I couldn't agree more. Shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way. If you're watching live, make sure to give this video a thumbs up so we can keep doing live streams for you guys. But let's see what everyone is saying. Hello. We've got Melissa, Araceli, Annika, Villian, Venus, Zena, Heidi. Hello, Heidi. Victoria, Jean, Benny, Des. We got a whole bunch of people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for watching live. We got a lot more to talk about today, you guys, because honestly, Rachel Lindsay just opened up big time in an interview with Nick Viall, and we really have to get into it. So obviously, in one of our last live streams, we talked to you guys about what happened with Hannah Brown, and she went on an Instagram live. She said the N-word. She didn't apologize for 12 hours. When she did release an apology, it was in a statement. A lot of things have gone awry with the Hannah Brown situation since that moment. She's been pretty MIA, but Rachel Lindsay just spoke to Nick Viall, and as you guys remember, she talked about that she was how she was disappointed in Hannah releasing a statement, and she was saying that like Hannah and I talked. Well, we finally got details of what that really meant, saying that they talked. So Hannah told Nick that they had multiple conversations through text, DMs, and phone calls, and she said, quote, when Hannah and I talked, she wanted to know what my thought was as to what she should do. She said, I want to ask you. And she was very remorseful. She was very upset. She was embarrassed. She was admitting she was wrong. And she said she wanted to go on a live. She was going to go first and then bring me on. Twice she got off the phone with me to tell me, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go get ready. Hours later, nothing. Then we would talk on the phone, and then hours later, nothing again until it was ultimately decided she wanted to do a statement. So it seemed like Hannah was kind of chickening out of doing a live stream, and Rachel was waiting to find out when she was going to be a part of it. So obviously now we're learning Rachel was way more involved than we had originally thought. Like I thought, okay, maybe Hannah called her, asked her what she should do, but that was kind of it. But the fact that we were finding out she was going to be involved in this apology and come forward and say something on her live is big, to me, a really big deal, and makes a difference, because she involved Rachel a lot and then kind of just like changed her mind about it for, I'm guessing, the reason of being nervous to do it.
So the whole situation is so complicated. And I think that now that we've really heard Rachel's take and all of what she had to say, because remember, the statement she made when this news broke was so powerful. It was so well thought out. And I think we could all tell when you read that or when you watch the video that there was more to this story. And I think that, to be honest with you, a lot of fans felt like there needed to be more. It wasn't just Rachel. A lot of people felt like, wait, this is all she's saying about it. So it honestly sounds like perhaps had she stuck to this original plan with Rachel and really delivered a powerful message on live, it might have really been the best course of action. Rachel went on to explain while she was on the podcast why she was disappointed that Hannah ended up apologizing via statement versus the live. She said, quote, the reason it disappointed me so much that Hannah decided to give a statement is because her words, a statement would be insincere. Hannah said that it felt icky to give a statement. And I believed her when she said it, and it was her team that was advising her to give a statement. And she said in her heart she didn't feel it was that way, and she felt that God wanted her to use her platform for a bigger purpose. So basically, what Rachel is saying is Hannah's team, whether it be managers, whoever it was, her publicist, advised her not to go live, you know, not to let an apology like this play out on a live stream, which from my couple semesters as a PR minor in college, I do understand why making an apology for something so powerful needs to be well thought out. It's safer to write it down, have your words be clear and concise. There's no way to misinterpret what you've said. So in a sense, I definitely understand the recommendation to make a statement. Unfortunately, the way it all played out, though, it just fell a little short. Rachel continued saying she was going to step up and do that. So to ultimately see her text me and say, I'm going to give a statement was extremely disappointing because you yourself said that that was insincere. So why did you therefore decide to do an insincere action? I'm very confused by that. So again, this whole revelation of what really Rachel's side of the story is a very, very interesting. I think the question we're all left with is, once again, is Hannah going to say something else? Is Hannah going to do something else? Would Rachel potentially hop on a live with her at a later date and sort of give it the moment that it seems like Hannah initially wanted? What do you think? Do you think Hannah will just sort of let it lay or potentially come forward again with a new statement?
I think she absolutely has to come forward and address this again, because a lot of people were not happy with her statement, and that being that she also, the reason why I think she'll come forward and say something else is because she has been super quiet. She has not posted, as far as I've noticed, anything since this all went down. And so what I would imagine she's doing is collecting her thoughts and seeing how she wants to proceed. I hope she makes the right call for her, for everyone, because I think, to be honest, like, if she's having her team tell her that this isn't a good idea and, like, who knows what you'll say during the live stream, like, just put out a statement, it's safest, whatever, I can understand why you would maybe be worried and scared about doing a live stream, but, like, ultimately you need to stay true to yourself. And if you know that that's going to come across insincere and you know that's kind of like a BS apology, then you need to make the right call, even if it's scary, even if it could go wrong, because that is the right thing to do, you know?
Absolutely.
So I hope that she does, and I think that she will, based on how she's been completely silent. I appreciate that. I'm happy Hannah's not, like, posting a bunch of photos of her, like, you know, laughing in the camera, and, like, she's clearly thinking about things right now. So I hope when she comes back, it will be to address it one more time. But you guys, speaking of addressing things, moving on to a lighter issue, let's talk about Caelynn, because you guys, we all know Caelynn Miller. She is dating Dean. She was on Colton's season of The Bachelor, and she has a famous feud with Hannah Brown that they kind of put to rest on the season. You guys remember, like, they swept it under the rug, but, like, they're not the best friends. Anyways, so Caelynn went on Ashley Eyes and Ben Higgins' Almost Famous podcast, and she opened up about what happened when she found out she wasn't going to be the Bachelorette. So back before we knew it was going to be Hannah, a lot of people were thinking she was going to be the next Bachelorette because she was in the top 4. Hannah obviously got eliminated before that, so people weren't really thinking it was going to be Hannah. What she said about it was, quote, I remember getting the call that it wasn't me for Bachelorette, and I was like, dang, that kind of sucks. And then I found out it was Hannah at Women Tell All. It hurt. It definitely hurt. So before we immediately jump to the conclusion, like I did when I initially read this article, that she's hurt because it's Hannah and they have this feud and they're always trying to, like, outdo each other, she went on to say that it upset her and it stung because she thought it was going to be hers, and then it suddenly wasn't. It was Hannah's, who wasn't even in the top 4. She said, looking back on previous seasons, it's always been in the top 4, and then to branch out and to pick Hannah, it just hurt. So my guess is it has nothing to do with Hannah, just more of, like, feeling like you're not good enough. Like, oh, they branched out when I was top 4. Why wasn't I picked? So I get it. But I would love to know, knowing their history with Hannah and Caelynn and how they've had this ongoing feud, do you think that Caelynn was more hurt about the fact that they didn't pick her and branched out to someone that wasn't in the top 4, or that it was Hannah Brown, even if Hannah was top 3?
Here's the thing. Personally, I think it's just like a double-edged sword. Like that just sucks on two levels. Think about it in any case scenario. Like if you think you're going to get like employee of the month or you're going to get a gold star, whatever, and then it doesn't go to you, and in your gut, you're sitting there thinking like, this is mine. I did it. It's coming. Like I'm so excited about this thing that's definitely going to happen to me. And then it doesn't. It's not only painful, it's a little embarrassing, even if it's just internally, you know, it's tough to process something like that. And then to lose to someone, or maybe not lose, but you know what I mean. And then to not be chosen for someone who you don't get along with, or maybe you don't love overall, it's tough. It sucks on both levels. And I think that ultimately it's probably a mixture of both. And it will be hard to even recognize how much is your own disappointment and how much is your own like jealousy disappointment or irritation disappointment. You know what I mean? Like situations like this are very tough. And you know what? I have to say, this new trend of picking someone like, for instance, our newest Bachelorette, Claire Crawley, like really pulling out of the blue and just finding someone that producers think is going to make good TV. It's definitely interesting because people go on The Bachelorette or The Bachelor, hopefully for the right reasons, but also because, you know, you're going to get a following. Maybe you get to be The Bachelorette. Maybe you get to go on Paradise. And, you know, I could see how being a contestant on the show and being completely overlooked for something that you thought you were in line for is tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I get where she's coming from. I do. It's just, yeah, the chat is blowing up with, like, these comments about how Caelynn wanted to be the Bachelorette the whole time. And, yeah, that's the thing. There's also a lot of controversy because a huge reason that Caelynn started becoming fan favorite, and then things started turning because there was speculation and talk that she just wanted to become the Bachelorette. In fact, she basically, her and Cassie were accused of not being ready for marriage, and they were like, "I'm ready for marriage. Like you don't know anything, whatever." And then literally Colton picks Cassie after she sends herself home. He makes it happen. And she goes, "It's not that I'm not ready to get married to you or that I don't want to be your girlfriend. It's that I'm just not ready for that in general." And like, after denying, being like, "No, I'm ready for marriage." And then having that come out to be the truth, showing that you were lying. Obviously, she was picked, so they didn't make her look bad after that. They're like, forget it. But then with Caelynn, there was the whole situation of her yeah, you guys, everyone's talking about my cat. Yeah, there's a cat right over here. She's meowing because it's almost dinner time and there's animals all over this house. So thank you for participating. But on Caelynn's side, she wasn't picked, so there's no need to continue to make her look amazing throughout the season. And then there was this, how she lied about saying she never wanted to be the Bachelorette. That's not what she meant and whatever. So there's just a lot of history with Caelynn wanting to be the Bachelorette, which is why I think personally it was hard for me to take this story seriously and be like, well, that makes sense, because like you guys know.
Well, and I saw at some point in the chat, I'd have to scroll back up, but at some point in the chat, I saw a couple of people saying that like the timing of this was even interesting as well, because obviously Hannah Brown has had a really great run in the public eye. This is her first sort of like misstep, and granted, it is a big one, but it's a lot easier to open up about something when someone's an unpopular, I don't want to say figure, but like, you know what I mean? Like when someone is a little bit further down, it's a little easier to be like, hey, I have this thought, than if you're going to get attacked because everyone is on their team. So I could definitely see the timing of this being, I don't want to say suspect, but also like, let's just hope that ultimately she's happy now. I mean, she's dating Dean, right? Like I would love to say like feud with Hannah or motivations of timing or whatever it is. Like, let's just say that she's in a happy relationship, and you know, if it was meant to be, it would have been. And based on all of the drama that season, would people have, I don't know, would you have been super supportive if she had been cast as the Bachelorette? Like with all of that speculation, would it have made you happy?
That's the thing. No, because here's the other thing. If you guys watched me on AfterBuzz TV during Colton season when I was recapping the season, I wasn't the biggest fan of her because I felt like she wasn't genuine. And I thought that Hannah, on the other hand, was. So if you're finding out two people are feuding, one of them you think is more genuine, the other one you think is fake, you're obviously going to pick sides because they don't like each other and you're like, well, who's in the wrong? So for me, I didn't want to see her be the Bachelorette because it felt like already on the season, like she was more believed by Colton, even though we found out later, like they were both kind of shady, whatever. And then Caelynn got to stay longer and Hannah was sent home. So I was happy to see Hannah get it. I don't think I would have been that happy about Caelynn, especially just with all the drama. It's like, that's what she wanted. Is that the whole reason she went on the show? And then if The Bachelor is about casting people who are in it for love, are in it for the right reasons, why pick someone who really seems to only be in it for the fame?
It's, you know what? I think there's so many levels to all of this, like her motivation for talking about it now, her thought process behind it in general, like losing out to Hannah Brown. There's so many different things. If I were her, I would look at my life and be like, I think it really played out for the best. I'm in a happy relationship. I honestly, like, to be honest with you, I wasn't super dialed into these seasons of The Bachelor. I am aware of who she is, no idea about any of this drama until we really dove into it today. So I think that she honestly ended up in the best case scenario, all things considered.
Jean in the chat said that Caelynn is doing this because everyone right now is against Hannah B. She would never speak about this if Hannah never involved herself with the scandal. I totally agree. I think it's kind of back to the feud. I think this is a sneaky way of, I don't want to say kicking someone while they're down, but like kind of. Like listen, I don't want to defend at all what Hannah did because I think it's completely unacceptable. And just like that aside though, I think this is another feud coming into things of like Caelynn taking this opportunity to once again be like, well, I was sad when Hannah, you know what I mean? I don't think either of them are right. But I agree with you. I think Caelynn literally brought this up because Hannah is in some hot water right now. But you guys, on that note, thank you so much for tuning in with us live. Lots to talk about today, and I'm sure there'll be lots to talk about tomorrow and the next day because Bachelor Nation doesn't sleep. They're just constantly creating more drama, and we are here for it on Shared News. So, if you'd like to keep up with all of the drama and all of the collages that Barb will continue to post about both of her son's girlfriends, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any collages. And if you'd like to keep up with Fiona and myself, you guys can follow me at Renee Ariel on TikTok and Instagram, and on YouTube. I actually just posted a new vlog, so go check it out. And Fiona, where can everyone follow you?
You can find me on all of those same places at Fiona's Airing.
So make sure to check us out over there. And you guys, we will see you back here on Shared News next time.
Bye.